Hi, good morning. Welcome everyone to today's webinar, DGS 102. It's called I'm Certified Now What? Just going to start off by saying that this webinar is being recorded. The presentation and the link to the recording will be emailed to you after today's presentation. And if you have any questions, we do ask if you can please type them in the chat or in the Q&A box. Questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. And on the next slide, please, I'm going to go ahead and launch a quick opening poll. We just have 3 questions here for you. We would like to know, are you currently in business? Are you a veteran-owned business? And were you able to get your business certified after attending the DGS 101 last week? So I'll give you a few seconds to answer those. All right, looks like the results are in. Thank you for taking the poll. And let me share the results here for everyone. So it looks like 88% of you are in business. And let's see, 100% of you are not a veteran-owned business. And let's see, were you able to get your business certified? So 38% of you were, 50% of you were not. And it looks like 13% of you missed the webinar last week. Well, if you missed it, don't worry. I will include the link to the recording for that webinar in my follow-up email today. So on the next slide, I will go ahead and turn it over to your facilitator for today. His name is Darvin Manuel. Darvin, thank you very much for your time today, and that's all yours.
All right, thank you, Christina, and welcome everyone. Just wanted to make sure I was not muted, and it looks like you can hear me.
Yeah,
Thank you again, Christina. And this is the I'm Certified Now What, as Christina mentioned, and it's one of 4 series that we have put together for SCORE. And what it is hopefully most of you are already certified at this point. If not, that's okay. We're here to help. We're always going to be available. So just gather as much information as you can, considering you're already certified, and then we could go back and help you with the certification process if necessary. And so let's go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Darvin Manuel. I specifically work in the Office of Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Services, also known as OSDS. So my role with OSDS is I'm a business outreach liaison. I help educate you with our services and to train you on how to do business with the state. We strive to help you understand the state contracting process, offer assistance for bidding on state contracts, and identify contract opportunities. We introduce contracting programs, and just a note, you'll have the opportunity to answer questions at the end of the presentations. But please send your questions through the chat, as Christina mentioned, and we'll answer them at the end. Another part of my role is I help state agencies and their buyers and also their advocates reach their goals for the 25% of their contracting goals for SBs and 3% for the DVBE, the Disabled Veteran Business Enterprises. And so it goes hand in hand, right? I help our small business get introduced to state agencies, and state agencies find small businesses and DVBs like yourself. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the topics that we're going to go over today. We're going to be talking about updating and improving your profile and why that is important. Bid solicitations, where you could find that, where that's housed in our Cali Procure system. Research past purchases, and this is really important because it kind of gives you an idea of how to market yourself, know who's buying your products and services. And what SBDVB advocates are, these are, I want to say, your ally in your small business and procuring pursuit. Reciprocity, what they play in this role within our small business and DVB program, and emergency contracting, what that is, something new. If you've been following us for a while, this is a new element that you might want to pay attention to if you could help the state with emergency contracting. And commercially useful function, why that's important when you're already in the bidding process. And resources, who you can rely on, who is here to help. SCORE, obviously, for hosting this event. And depending on where you are in your small business level, there are other resources that can help you. All right, so let's go over what Cali Procure profile is and what that looks like. Cali Procure profile is similar to profiles you maintain with lots of organizations, be it something that's personal or professional. And the information that you have on your profile generally consists of contacts, information about you, and in the case of Cali Procure, your business. And you want to have this up to date. There's basic information on there, as stated on the screen, like your phone number, email, mailing address, website, and your physical address. You also have information on your profile that describes what you do, essentially what products or services you can provide to sell for the state of California. And these take the form of keywords and Unspsc codes. And we'll talk about why that's important. This is one of the more important parts of your profile when it comes to getting contract opportunities, right? Because this is where it's gonna come from and how you'll get bid solicitations. And this is, I want to say, one of the areas where a business owner can make a mistake. So let's go ahead and talk about keywords in UNSPSCs. I'm going to show you why this is important in your profile and how you could update them. All right, so keywords are singular. Individual words such as paper or pen or stapler that describes a good or service you sell. So any of this can be a keyword as stated in these examples. So how do you use your keywords? Well, keywords allows you to describe the goods and services you sell. You can enter as many keywords as you want, and keywords allows the buyer from the state to find your company. And much like finding your company on the internet through the web browser or search engine. Now, just mind you, it's not as user-friendly, so you want to pay attention to what you're actually inputting. Now, how do you select the right keywords for your business? Select what's right for you. Again, any word can be a keyword, and they are often the words we use when searching on the web browser. Your keyword should be entered one word at a time, not as a sentence or a string of words. They should be singular and not plural. Use as many keywords as you want. Use synonyms and words that are broad and specific, and use technical language from your industry and that are common words. You can pull words from the description of your UNSPSC codes, which we'll go over in the next few slides here. You can even look up the keywords for your competitors and use their profiles through the certified search and use those words on your profile. So what that means is you're going to need to learn how to navigate through Cali Procure and find your competitors' profile information. Those are all transparent and public information. And I'll show you how to take advantage of that. All right, so UNSPSC codes, these are 8-digit codes that identify a good or service. And these codes allow our buyers, the state buyers, to find your business, and they allow you to get notifications from the Cali Procure system. Hopefully you visited our Cali Procure system already, so that this can make a little more sense for you. If not, I'll walk you through that in the next few slides also. The codes are in hierarchy form with 4 levels, which you can see in this example. The higher the level, the more zeros the code has at the end of the description. The description is broader. The first level has the broadest category, right, of paper materials and products, with a code that only has the first 2 digits that are specified. Level 4 has the digits specified and a more specific description. In this case, we recommend you select all the codes that are accurately describe the goods and services you provide. That way you can get more notifications, and more buyers can see exactly what you're selling or providing. And then, so how do you select the right UNSPSC code for your business? To find relevant codes, you need to do a few things. First, search for codes that describe the products and the services you sell based on their description. When you found a few codes that work for you, you look at the hierarchy to find the other potentially relevant codes. And another note, best practice that I'd like to share is that just like before with keywords, you can look at the public profiles of your competitors, as I mentioned earlier, to see what codes they are using. All right. Okay, so how can you use these UNSPSC codes? As you can see, there's the registration profile where you get notifications. Some of you here probably understand what I mean about that already, because you gotten as far as registering. And then the certification profile is another segment that promotes your goods and services to buyers. First, in your registration profile, you receive these notifications from Cali Procure about relevant bid solicitation. The second one is your certification profile. So once you're certified, you'll have this section. Listing codes here is what allows our state buyers to find you, and when they search for businesses using UNSPSC codes. So they kind of work hand in hand. What you're applying and what they're looking for has to match. If they search for certified businesses using a code you have in your certification profile, you'll have to show up on their list of results. If a buyer can find you, then they can contact you directly about responding to a bid solicitation. So in a minute, I'm going to show you exactly how to update your keywords and your Cali Procure. All right, so now we're gonna go over updating your Cali Procure profiles. So what you're gonna wanna do is log into caliprocure.ca.gov. This is really something that you're gonna need to be very familiar with opening up. I don't wanna say on a daily basis, but maybe just if your concentration is on state contracts, this is what you wanna be familiar with. And we're going to go over the Cali Procure and show you how to update your notifications and your certification profile for this topic. So the landing page, if you visited our Cali Procure system, looks like this. And where you see the red arrow, that's pointing into where you would want to log in or register. So to begin, you're going to want to click login, register, but the button on your right corner and log into your account. And this is how your work center would look like. You're going to want to click on the managed notification profile. And then from there, you'll see that red colored in for your work center. You're going to click on there, manage notification profile. Hope you can see that on the screen. And this is just a snapshot of what you would like to receive for SBDVB subcontracting listing notifications. I would answer yes on that. And then at this point, when you're on the California State Contracts Register, it'll ask you, would you like to receive event notifications for bidding opportunities? And of course, the answer should be yes, right? This is what you're here for. And you want to add at least one email address at this part. You know, one advice or one best practice that I would like to share is maybe when you're putting email address, you select one that's specifically just for state contracting. That way, you know, all those emails that you're receiving are housed just for state contracting. Just makes it easier for you to respond and know what you're receiving. So at this point, you can check for statewide. You want to know all the notifications, even though you only work in one place or two service areas. We do this so that you can widen your scope. You don't have to change it. You'll be able to see what else, what other areas, just to get yourself familiar with it. And maybe as your business broadens, you'll be able to provide service in those other areas. All right, so the UNSP selection page looks like this. You could either do a search by entering your keyword for UNSPSC code, the description, or you can put the code itself. And then you're gonna want to choose the parent codes, the codes that are ending in zeros. So if you'll notice the slide, I checked mark 2 with the ones ending in zeros and all of the subheadings with the 8-digit codes. And then it transfers it, right, from the search result to your notifications. And then you can select all or deselect, however, whatever your needs are going to be. And then we're right back to your work center. You can click the Manage Notification Profile button. Right there where it's red. And this is where you could amend your application, right? You'll be able to make edits here. And right where it says other, for you to get to the other sections, you're going to want to drop down all the way to where it says save and continue, because you wouldn't just be able to click that other function. You must go all the way down at the bottom of the registration page and click save and continue to get to the other headings. If you only have one certain counties that you work in, you'd select them here. And otherwise, you could just choose statewide. For keywords on the right, you'll want to have a long list. And again, one word per line, the singular. This is where you would not select them, not select plural. You don't want to have to repeat yourself over and over again on this. And then on this note, you're able to transfer your UNSPSC codes from your bidder registration over. And then so you could select them here, yes or no, deselect or delete all your UNSPSC codes. And on the UNSPSC section, I would suggest you select the ones ending in zeros here. And I'll get you to this point. This is where the selection of codes for products and services that you provide will appear on the public search. And in a nutshell, that's basically how you could select your UNSPSC codes and deselect and update them. I also wanted to go over something new with Cali Procure, and this is the registration segment. Now, we recently added a new voluntary supplier diversity data for collection opportunity for all new businesses registering with the state and for currently registered businesses. You can enter this information in the beginning once you register. So if you've registered, I'm sure you've seen this already, or later by editing your bidding or your bidder profile. So the purpose of this diversity data collections to allow the state to gain a better understanding of registered and certified business owners. So we'll know the demographics related to ethnicity, race, gender identity, and sexual orientation. Businesses are like yourself, we're encouraging you to participate in this to get your information and to determine where outreach is needed amongst various communities to support a greater diversity in state contracting. The diversity information will not be used to grant a preference in state contracting. This information is voluntary, it's not required. The information of the company should be entered. The information of the owner of the company should be entered. And currently, the information you provide is stored within your business profile only, and it's not being displayed on Cali Procure public sites or as part of the SB certification public search, just for your information. However, by voluntarily providing the information, you agree and authorize the state to display this information in your public certification profile if you choose to, if the state chooses to do so in the future. All right, and that portion of it, just so you know, from your work center is right here where it's in red, manage diversity information. And then these are the questions that it's going to have once you click on there. All right, so now let's go ahead and talk about bid solicitations and how to find that, right? How to find solicitations, public, competitive, and post advertisements and so forth. I'm going to show you where you can find these solicitations and where you can research past state purchases. So you're going to want to, again, go to Cali Procure and show the CSCR and SCPRS, known as skippers, or use or you'll see it again from this point when you log in, Cali Procure, log in. And when once you log in, you'll see right there where the arrow is pointing to start to search for the California State Contracts Register, the CSCR. And then from this point, that takes you to to the California State Contracts Register. It uses the word event to refer to bid solicitation. Not sure why it was chosen to be event name, but what that means is bid solicitation. You could search by the event name, enter it right here, or you could make a simple description of the bid solicitation, or you can search by the department. And then there are advanced search criteria. So if you clicked on the red right there, advanced search criteria, it'll take you to this point where you can search by specific dates, Unspsc codes and service areas, or even by specific licenses that you'll need for a specific contract. All right. Let's see here. Sorry, I'm having a hard time getting to my next slide. Your search will result in a list that looks like this. You could click on the items to see the details behind them. Like you click on the event name, and then it'll show you which department that's related to, the event ID number all the way to the left, the end date, and the status of the solicitation. These are important information you'll need because the date and time they're very strict on that. When it says a specific time that it's going to end, that's exactly when it's going to end. And also when you're filling a bid solicitation and when it's due, you want to make sure that you're ahead of schedule, either a day or a couple hours before to submit it. All right, so on the details page, you can see a lot of information here when you click on the details, right? You'll see the department name. This is the department conducting the procurement. You'll see that the event end date. This is the date and time. Like I mentioned, all bid responses must be received by. Anything late will not be considered. And the contact information list, who is in charge and responsible for this procurement. And if you have any questions about this specific bid and solicitation, they are the person that you want to be in contact with. And then you can click the view event package to view the contract documents, which can include the statement of work. It just gives you more details, the bid submission instructions and other documents. You can also post an advertisement indicating that you are a prime contracting looking for a subcontractor or a subcontractor looking for a prime to work with. This ad is just for this specific solicitation. You can also see current ads that are posted for as an example. So the circled portions is what we talked about. Contact information and who you want to address all your questions. I would advise that, any questions that you have, ask. They're here to help. So it's important that you get that all taken care of before the bid is finalized. And the view event package, you may have some information on walking you through the solicitation. So if you're first time, that's something that you want to pay attention to because they could give you a lot more details. Okay, so at this point, I mentioned researching your past purchases, right? And how to market research on Cali Procure and research your competitors. You're gonna want to go to Cali Procure again, and then get to the skippers part. So I always like to start from the landing page. And from here, you could find public procurement information where the arrow is pointing. And then once you get there, you'll see the past purchases and state contracting, known as skippers. You click that second line, right, for state contracting and procurement registration. And then it'll take you to this point. This is the skippers database. This is where you're going. I feel like this is one of the most important parts of reviewing and researching to see what solicitations are out there, when they start, when they end, how much, and who was the supplier that was used. So that way you could be strategic in your approach. You can search with a variety of parameters and filters. You could search by description, using words to describe the product and service you sell. As you can see in this example, the word construction, right? You get a long list of results laid out, and there are more columns on the right part. And you could download this information and analyze it to help you determine which departments buy your product and services, and which services, which businesses currently get contracts with the state, or services you can provide, and more. So this is where you want to do the bulk of your research. It'll answer a lot of questions for you as far as, you know, how much you would want to bid, for example. All right, so I wanted to talk to you about the Sbb Advocates and who they are and what role they play in state contracting. So it's important to know that nearly all departments in the state that buys more than 100,000 has a designated employee called the SB, Small Business and Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise Advocate. Their role is to assist you, the certified small business, in pursuing contracts in their department. Some departments have multiple advocates, right? They're a large agency. So every region or district of Caltrans will have their own dedicated advocate, as you'll notice. SBDV advocates can assist in identifying if their department buys what you provide, and they assist state agencies in reaching their goals, right, for their contracting dollars for every fiscal year. All right, so I just wanted to walk you through on how to get to a listing of the SBDVB product. So when you get to this point, click on Find Training Resources, and then Research and Marketing. And then it'll take you to this portion. It'll take you to our website, actually, and it'll DGS website, and you can download the advocate directory from here. And just to give you an example of how that looks like, here it is, all the state departments listed, what branch they're from, the name of the SB or DVBE. And so there's also the highlighted departments on here that already have a SBDVBE first policy in place. Now, why that's important is because, you know, they're going to choose a small business and DVBE first. They have a policy in place. They're obligated to select a small business. So if I was a small business, that's the departments I would start with. And then you'll notice the highlight in yellow. Those are like the departments for construction, where you'll notice the X. We just try to make it as easy for you as possible. I'm sorry, the yellow is the SBDVB first policy, and then the one that's been X in in these sections means that they are procuring for construction procurements. All right, also wanted to share the departments that's been added on here for the transportation, Department of Transportation. And in April of this year, Caltrans initiated a small business first policy where anything up to 388,000 was given to small businesses. These solicitations are not usually posted. They are not posted. So therefore, you got to contact each district, let them know who you are, and give them a copy of your capability statement. And I'll go over that in my next slide and let you know what that is. So at this point, you're going to want to actually have what we call a capability statement. And this just makes the job of the state buyer a little easier because they'll know that you're already small business certified, right? And you have the codes that relating to something that they may possibly be purchasing or procuring for. And you'll have your name, your company name, your email, and your web page at this point, and any other certifications that might be pertinent to state contracting. You'll want to apply here, and then what you offer, how long you've been in business for, and I would even provide like who you've worked with. If you already have state contracting history or experience, or even like other cities or counties, and that way they know that you're established, or just whatever relates to you, document it there and let them know the work that you've done in the past. And if you haven't done work that's okay too, but you want to make yourself, this is basically like your resume, right? Like if you're a person looking for a job, you want to sell yourself at this point. All right, so I mentioned in the topics that we were going to be talking about reciprocity partners and what they are. So a reciprocity partner is a city, county, agency, or special district that honors the state's small business and DVBE certification as an acceptance into their individual business enterprise program. So you'll want to click on that website to give you a listing of the different reciprocity partners that accept our SB and DVBE program. And just note that they might have different policies, so it might not be similar to the state. So you want to get yourself familiar to what the differences are. But at least you don't have to go through the whole process again of getting certified. This allows you to search for other partners outside of state agencies, which is another benefit for getting certified. And I mentioned earlier that I wanted to go over the emergency contracting and what that is. It's something new that we've added. It's the Sbb Emergency Registry. And what that is a dedicated portal for California certified businesses to register as a supplier of emergency goods and services. So unlike Cali Procure, this portal will only include businesses that provides the goods and services that's been predetermined from emergency categories. So the state department buyers can access and search this pool of suppliers. Makes it a lot easier for small businesses like yourself and for them to search for you. So who should register or sign up for this? If you are a small business or a DVBE business that's currently ready and able to support the state of California in a moment of an emergency, then this might be something you want to consider. The emergency contracting requires fast turnaround times, often like 24 hours. And a business should not register here if unless you're capable of immediately providing goods and services that are listed. So just FYI, it is what it is, emergency contracting. So it has to be at a moment's notice. And these are the different categories that may pertain to your business. For example, if you think of any emergency, right, for fires, for debris removal, law enforcement, security, temporary labor, things like that, maybe rentals, vehicle repair. These are the type of categories that are listed for emergency registry. So you might want to consider this option also after you have been, after you've registered and gotten certified. So when you get certified or when you register, you're going to need your certification number at this point, your emergency categories that you're able to do, description of product services, your business address, contact information for both primary and for after hours for emergency. And I touched, or I'm sorry, I brought up the use of commercially useful function, right? So this applies to all small business and DVBE bidding and participating in a contract, or certified small business and DVB bidding and participating contracts. This part just goes over like what it is. If you're performing a commercially useful function, and if your business is executing a distinct element of the work, performing and managing or supervising the work, you must performing, negotiating price, determining quality and quantity, ordering, installing, and making payments, and not subcontracting a portion of the work greater than that's expected of the industry practices. Then you're performing a commercially useful function. And the purpose of CUF is just to prevent pass-throughs, right? To ensure that the preference that we're giving you as a small business is for work that's being performed on the contract. So it's a way for you, for primes not to take advantage of the incentives, and also not to take advantage of the small businesses. CUF does not exist outside of the contract, so getting certified does not automatically mean that your business performs a commercially useful function. The commercially useful function evaluation is done by the buyers of the contract officials of the awarding department, and pre-award and post-award during the contract life. So this portion will be important once you have been selected for bidding, or I'm sorry, once you've been selected for solicitation. And I mentioned other resources, right? Like depending where you're at in your business pursuit or level, these are some of the resources that you could get in contact with. For PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center, it requires for a business to be in business for at least 2 years And for the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center, this organization helps with branding your business for business consulting, business planning, and marketing, and accessing capital. And of course, SCORE, which is how you learned about this presentation. They're able to mentor you and connect with new businesses. All right, so in review, we've covered a lot of topics, right? We've gone over updating and improving your profile. We've gone over bid solicitations, how to research past purchases. Just to add to the research past purchases, you want to research things that are not beyond 10 years, right? You want to go within at least a 5-year range, just so it's current and applicable, right? Because what they bid for 10 years ago might not be an exact amount that you want to consider, and it's not as current. And then we talked about Sbb Advocates, how they can be an ally to you and help you with information, solicitations, and knowing whether you're a good fit for their state agency procurement. Reciprocity, we mentioned and talked about what that is and how that is a benefit, an added benefit for getting certified with the state. And emergency contracting, we've discussed commercially useful function, the resources. And after that, we'd like to learn more about you once you have a contracting success story. I've always loved hearing from our small businesses that attended webinars like this and said, hey, thank you for helping me understand how to bid for contracts and how they won a solicitation or a bid. We love to hear those stories. We like to share it with businesses like you, just to let them know like that this program is actually working, right? And that it's developing and doing very well, and you want to be able to use yourselves as best practices for others. And just wanted to let you know that you could follow us on LinkedIn. The Office of Small Business and DV Services provides updates and current events on LinkedIn. That's important information for the small business community. So please share with us your contacts. We can connect with you that way. And you can see what current events that we're going to be having, other workshops that we'll be promoting. And I mentioned earlier, like, you don't have to learn everything today, right? You could book an appointment with one of our staff to just go over contracting with state contracting, finding contract opportunities, Cali Procure registration and certification, or just updating your profile. So you just go on the QR code here, click on it, and book your appointment. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you. And finally, thank you again so much for participating. I know for small business that time is money, but for small businesses like yourself, it's even more critical. So I hope the information that I've shared with you is helpful, and that you're able to go out there and bid on contracts. And again, my name is Darvin Manuel. You could reach me at darvin.manuel@dgs.ca.gov, and our link for our program is on there too, and the number that you could contact me at. And I believe this is going to be shared with you. So you'll have all the information that you need to reach out to us. And at this point, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back to Christina. Thank you again so much.
Thank you so much, Darvin. I hope you all enjoyed the webinar today. Just going to cover some SCORE resources before we get to some of the questions we have here. And Tom, would you like to cover some of the resources on here?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Was that, you wanted me to cover the resources too?
Yeah.
We're so excited about Darvin sharing this very valuable information. If you would like more resources that we can offer you, and the list is long, go to our small business resource library or take one of our workshops. We have some other material on government contracting resources. These are live hyperlinks, and you will receive those when you get this presentation today in the email. We'd love for you to request a mentor, not just for government contracting, but also for the business plan that you will need in order to be a viable business that can do work with the state of California. And then, of course, if you bring skills and have a lifetime of experience in business, and you're at that point where you're ready to give away and lend back to the community the information and resources that you have, we would love to talk to you, have a conversation with you about becoming a volunteer. And there's a link for applying for that. Not everybody gets to be a SCORE volunteer, but we do need people who have the kind of resources that you bring to the table. We have a poll, Christina, that we can launch. Yes, we have a closing poll. And so we want to know that if you found the information today in the webinar helpful, something you can use, we would like to know that. So it's yes or no. Would you like a SCORE mentor to help you with your certification process? Or anything else? Say yes or no. And did you register for the remainder of the series? We're in the middle of a series if you came late, and this is the second. Please let us know if you're registering for that. This is not the registration, by the way. You have to register. So did you register? And if not, we would encourage you to do so. So if you'd answer those questions, we would be most grateful. It would give us valuable feedback. Okay, we'll just take a second to do that. And here are the results. 100% of you found something valuable. Darvin, that speaks very well of you. Thank you for putting this together. And then a little over half of you would love to have a mentor. And most of you, almost 70% of you, have registered for the remainder of the series. And we encourage the rest of you to do so as well. So thank you for that. And I think we're ready for our Q&A. We don't have too many questions. We have several people like Michael, who says, good work, Darvin. But Gil would like for us to, again, give how to get the resource from the Small Business Development Center. That's a great resource. Can we get that link back up again? Or was there a link given, Christina and Darvin, for how to plug into the Small Business Development Center?
Oh, you know what? I could just go back on the slide, or.
Well, we can include it in the email that's going out today.
Okay. All right. I don't have the specific.
Yeah, no, don't do that. We'll just include that in the email. I think we can turn off the screen sharing right now.
Okay.
And just go face to face and get some questions. Any other questions that we want to, or did Darvin just do that extraordinary thing of answering them all before you ever asked them? Pete,
I have a few questions here, Tom, that I received. Let's see.
Okay, excellent.
Okay, so can SCORE help me put together my capability statements?
Yes, that's what we call a business plan, and we will take you through that. More importantly, we have some upcoming webinars on developing the capability study. Not only that, but you're going to need financing and you're going to need bonding and insurance. So watch for those webinars upcoming and just simply go to centralvalleyscore.org and sign up for those. Great question. Thank you.
Okay, and how much does it cost to get my business certified to do business with California?
It's enormous. The thing is, it's your tax dollars. It's free. And there's many people out there that are scamming you to charge a lot of dollars to become certified. Get together with a SCORE mentor and they can help you. These are your tax dollars at work, folks. Take advantage of it. It's an opportunity for you to do business with somebody that wants you to be one of their vendors. And it's not just through state of California, but there's several agencies that can learn, whether it be CAL FIRE, CHP, or parks. And we'll talk more about that in session 4 as we bring the buyers down here that you'll be able to interview. Great question. Thank you.
Peter, may I just say, before you ever spend a dime or on anything, talk to your SCORE mentor, because it might be out there free.
Okay, and here's one more question. Where can I find the UNSPSC/NAICS codes for my business?
You know what? I could share that or that link with you.
Yeah, we can send that out. It's a link that you can go to for your classification on there. And again, if you need help with that, just contact us. And then Darvin also has in there the advocate office on there. That's part of the slide presentation today. And they are also a great resource for you. So please use these because resources are giving you are priceless and they are at no cost to you.
Darvin, if you want to drop that link in the chat, or you can also send it to me and I'll be sure to send it out to all the registrants for today. And here's another question. What level of UNSPSC codes should be included on the capabilities brief?
Well, we recommend at least putting either a general ones and also the ones that are most to the point. So you're gonna want to go to your skippers through Cali Procure just to see what your competitors are already using, or you could reach out to even the actual advocate to see what they're using for that code. I could help research that for you if you'd like to book an appointment, and I could let you know what codes that you should be using. So it's really going to depend on what you're selling and what service you provide.
And so, we also want you to include that in your capability study or your business plan to identify that you are certified, what classification you are, because it really makes it easier for the procurement officer because they have to look it up and all that sort of thing. So make it easy for yourself and for the procurement officer to get bids. So great question.
Yeah, I don't see any other questions in the chat.
Well, Darva, we thank the folks on your team at DGS, and more importantly, we thank the folks that attended today. And please let us know if you do start a business, because we want to know that too, along with DGS. And we'd like to have you as one of our successful candidates as we go through on our annual Small Business Award that are certified. So stay in touch with us at score.org. And more importantly, we'll see you at next week's webinar, which is entitled, Darvin?
State contracting. Basically, it's something that allows you to get to that next level after you've already been certified, and how to reach other procurement methods, contracting with state government.
Yeah, it'll be like the bidding process, how to accept awards and that sort of stuff. So a great session before we meet the buyers on session 4. So please be here, and those of you that didn't take copious notes, not to worry, you'll get a copy of the recording and the presentation today. And we want to thank everybody for attending today, and we'll see you next week.